nuclear power and its related technologies, interplanetary missions will be faster, more efficient and economical. Thanks to this, humanity is getting closer to a new era of space missions to Mars, the solar system and even beyond. The international experts agreed on the need to continue advancing in nuclear fission and fusion in order to make voyages to deep space beyond our solar system. Nuclear energy could provide electricity for onboard systems and instrumentation. It could also make it possible to have a sustainable human presence in other planets of the solar system. According to Elon Musk's most recent technological innovations, if it works as planned, NASA plans on using it for a manned mission to the moon using it. Military cargo could be transported across the globe in a matter of minutes according to the Pentagon's plans. It has the potential to significantly lower the cost of traveling to space, which is being eyed by astronomers, satellite firms, and prospective space travelers. Elon Musk calls it the holy grail of space technology. SpaceX CEO Elon Musk has said that the holy grail to making human life multiplanetary lies in our ability to make a completely reusable rocket system that can carry a massive amount of equipment, supplies, and people deep into space. That's why SpaceX created Starship. Collectively referred to as Starship, the two components loom nearly 400 feet into the air, almost 100 feet taller than the Statue of Liberty. Getting all the weight off the ground is no easy task and requires 33 of SpaceX Raptor engine for the booster. For good measure, the spacecraft carries an additional 7 engines. The project could be alluring to investors. According to McKinsey & Co., private funding in space-related companies topped $10 billion in 2021, a tenfold increase over the past decade. Traditionally, most of that funding has concentrated on activities closer to Earth, such as building out satellite communications, but there is some evidence that may be changing. Recently, there has been increased focus on lunar. Brooks Stokes, associate partner at McKinsey, said in an interview, "So the moon and beyond. Think moon, Mars and deeper planetary exploration." Lunar and beyond investment was about $1 billion from private investors in 2021, the highest sum we had seen to date. If we want to send autonomous probes to the nearest stars during a human's lifetime, one of the most promising solutions is nuclear fusion. But commercially viable results have yet to be demonstrated. The biggest obstacle to interstellar travel is lack of appropriate technology. The fact that the stars are so far away is the fundamental issue with getting there. Proxima Centauri, the closest star to us, is 4.3 light years away. This is equivalent to 269,000 astronomical units. The Voyager 1 spacecraft is on an interstellar mission. It's traveling away from the Sun at a rate of 17.3 kilometers per second. If the Voyager were to travel to Proxima Centauri at this rate, it would take over 73,000 years to arrive. If we could travel at the speed of light, an impossibility due to special relativity, it would still take 4.22 years to arrive. If it were pointing in that direction from a human perspective, that is not a very beneficial time scale. For a researcher to wait for their results, in all likelihood, the space probe's usefulness depends on its ability to return data within a suitable time scale for humans, such as decades or perhaps a century to be. Clear, we are discussing travel periods that are around 1,000 times shorter than what Voyager 1 would take to reach Proxima Centauri. Fusion reactions release an enormous amount of energy, which is why researchers are devising ways to harness that energy into a propulsion system. A fusion-powered spacecraft could move up NASA's schedule for a manned Mars mission. This type of spacecraft could cut travel time to Mars by more than 50%, thus reducing the harmful exposure to radiation and weightlessness. The building of a fusion-powered spacecraft would be the equivalent of developing a car on Earth that can travel twice as fast as any car with a fuel efficiency of 7,000 miles per gallon. Fusion reactions release an enormous amount of energy, which is why researchers are devising ways to harness that energy into a propulsion system. A fusion-powered spacecraft could move up NASA's schedule for a manned Mars mission. This type of spacecraft could cut travel time to Mars by more than 50%, thus reducing the harmful exposure to radiation and weightlessness. The building of a fusion-powered spacecraft would be the equivalent of developing a car on Earth that can travel twice as fast as any car with a fuel efficiency of 7,000 miles per gallon. In rocket science, fuel efficiency of a rocket engine is measured by its specific impulse. Specific impulse refers to the units of thrust per the units of propellant consumed over time. Fusion drive could have a specific impulse about 300 times greater than conventional chemical rocket engines. A typical chemical rocket engine has a specific impulse of about 450 seconds, which means that the engine can produce 1 pound of thrust from 1 pound of fuel for 450 seconds. A fusion rocket could have an estimated specific impulse of 130,000 seconds. Additionally, fusion-powered rockets would use hydrogen as a propellant, which means it would be able to replenish itself as it travels through the space. Hydrogen is present in the atmosphere of many planets, so all the spacecraft would have to do is dip down into the atmosphere and suck in some hydrogen to refuel itself. Fusion-powered rockets could also provide longer thrust than chemical rockets, which burn their fuel quickly. It's believed that fusion propulsion will allow rapid travel to anywhere in our solar system and could allow round trips from Earth to Jupiter in just 2 years. Let's take a look at 2 NASA fusion propulsion projects. Together with a booster stage, it will stand nearly 400 feet high, taller than the Statue of Liberty and its pedestal. The founding ethos of Elon Musk's private space flight company SpaceX was to make life multiplanetary. He says that settling humans on other worlds such as Mars would preserve civilization if Earth were to experience a cataclysm such as large asteroid impact. Elon Musk repeated his stated goal of wanting to transport 1 million people to Mars by 2050. The SpaceX founder says the future of humanity is at stake. He has frequently discussed his desire to establish communities on Mars. According to him, big populations necessary for towns to become self-sufficient. To make this vision a reality, we need a capable vehicle that can handle the journey. SpaceX secured a $2.89 billion NASA contract to build spacecraft that will land astronauts on the moon for the first time in 5 decades. The fixed-price contract is a major vote of confidence for Elon Musk's rocket company, as the space agency is placing a large amount of responsibility for its cornerstone human spaceflight program known as Artemis on SpaceX. Nuclear thermal propulsion systems are not new, but they could significantly reduce travel times and carry greater payloads than today's top chemical rockets, giving humans a great chance of exploring deep space. Currently, the most powerful NASA received new research funding in 2018 and 2019 to resume NTP research with the goal for a test flight planned for 2024. Last summer, Elon Musk tweeted, "Nuclear thermal rocket for fast transit around the solar system would be a great area of research for NASA," seemingly suggesting that while private companies move forward with the mature technologies of chemical rockets, NASA could focus on NTP development. DARPA, the research and development arm of the US Department of Defense, plans to hold a flight demonstration of nuclear thermal propulsion that would take a spacecraft into Earth's orbit in 2026. Eventually, the engine could be used to fly through cislunar space that expands between Earth and the Moon. The Moon's average distance from us is 238,855 miles. Perhaps the same technology could transport humans for long-duration spaceflight missions, according to the Office of Nuclear Energy. This could include going to Mars, for example. Once a spacecraft achieves orbit using more traditional chemical rocket propulsion, it will engage NTB rocket it's carrying on board. Chemical rockets produce water vapor as a byproduct when the chemicals are being burned, making them heavier and less efficient. Hydrogen byproduct in an NTP system is far lighter, so the rocket travels farther on less fuel. The amount of thrust you can get from a chemical rocket that combusts a specific amount of liquid hydrogen and liquid oxygen is 450 seconds. This is half the minimum thrust expected for nuclear-powered rockets, estimated at 900 seconds. So guys, this was for today. Give us your thoughts on this in the comment section, and if you appreciate our content, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. Share this video with your family and friends. We will meet soon in a new video. Thank you. Jai Hind.